All right, it's time to do a video about the C word.
The C word?
The C word.
Contract?
No.
Closing?
No. I'm still recording you, by the way.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Carrots? Chocolate?
No.
Courthouse?
No.
Christmas?
Okay, the dreaded C word. Compensation. How does a buyer's agent get paid, and what does it look like? So we need to look at three forms today. The first one is a buyer representation agreement. So when you do that interview process, find that right agent and you sign a form that lets them represent you. On line 37, it says that the client authorizes the broker to negotiate for a fee paid by the seller or the seller's agent, the payment of which will be fully disclosed to the client. If a fee is not offered or paid, the client agrees to pay the broker a total of blank dollar amount or blank percentage compensation based on the total sales price. Now, one thing to always keep in mind is down here on line 51, notice real estate fees are not fixed by law. They are set by each broker individually and are negotiable between client and broker. The payment of any fee by seller shall not make the broker either the agent or sub-agent for the seller. So basically what this says is that you authorize the agent to get a commission from the seller. If they don't, you agree to pay a percentage of blank or a dollar amount. So what is that percentage from the seller, if any? So for that, we need to look at the right to sell listing agreement. So when you list your house with an agent, you're going to sign this form that authorizes that agent to list your house. And one of the things that it's going to talk about is the commission that's going to be paid. So on that right to sell form, line 58, a total of blank dollar amount or blank percentage compensation based on the total sales price shall be paid by seller to broker. So there are language down here that says the broker is offering a cooperative compensation in the amount of blank percent of selling price or dollar amount of selling price to a seller's agent. So when you sign a listing agreement and let's say you agree to pay a broker 6%, then that broker can offer compensation to another agent for bringing a buyer of whatever amount they choose. So if that's 3%. So if this says 3% on your buyer's rep agreement, or 2%, well, it will say 3, and it says 3% on the listing agreement, then the buyer's agent is going to get paid 3% of the total purchase price, okay? If there is a discrepancy, if this says 3, and they're only paying a buyer's agent 1%, 2%, then you as the client could be liable to make up the difference. Do you see how that works? Last form to look at here is the compensation form between the two agents. So when you're under contract and you're sending all that paperwork over, the buyer's agent and the seller's agent are going to sign a form stating that the buyer's agent gets a dollar amount, a percentage of the purchase price compensation for selling the house. I find it interesting that the word through all of this is compensation, not commission. That's interesting. So bottom line, those are the three forms you need to look at to see what a buyer's agent is going to make. One other thing I will throw in here, that on the last page of your buyer's rep agreement, there's a place for special stipulations, and that is where an agent can write in they have transaction fees that are required by their brokerage. Any transaction fees should be disclosed there. Same with the listing agreement. Any transaction fees that that agent or the brokerage charges should be on the special stipulations for that. So I'm sure you have lots of questions about this. I'd love for you to ask them, okay? Ask those hard questions, I don't care. Ask those ugly questions. Anywho, let's end this video on a high note with something fun, and I'll talk to you soon.
Those militares are protecting the safe. Take them out! They've not gone to us! Take evasive action!